everybody. How you doing? Today we're gonna have a different program. It's kind of bird's eye view on the general outlook of the socio-political of Ethiopia, in particular my country Tigray. The reason that I want to make it in English is that first of all, this gives chance a window of opportunity for those of you who live or raised and born in America. So you can definitely take part, over here. We're gonna discuss different issues for different scenarios. So I believe this is gonna give you a chance, to take part, and give some kind of idea on what's going on in Ethiopia, particularly in our country, Tigray. Right now, I would rather call it a country. I would rather call Tigray as a country instead of a region, because Tigray is more than a region for me. What's happening and the way the world view, the way the world look at us is not region enough. That's something that we have to call it a country. So we're moving forward, towards that position. By the way, I have few ideas. Basically, I'm trying to just make sure the world know some kind of way what's really happening, because internet access or information access is generally closed. Is denied. Access is denied. So nobody can go to Tigray and find out what the hell is going on, or what the hell is going on, in Tigray with tangible evidence. Therefore, if anybody's all ears, to what I'm gonna explain briefly, you will have some kind of idea or just clue. So my point of view is going to be regarding the international mediation. This could be explained in terms of UN, AU, or international communities, be it regional power or superpowers, it doesn't matter. We'll explain it or look at it that way. And then how to maintain ceasefire and those cooperation of AU. I don't know, this Emirates or Eritrea in Somalia. Those we call them coalition power, along with Ethiopia's, military forces that are taking action against Tigrayans or the state Tigray. And then the other point of view we're going to look at is going to be how to maintain prevention of conflict in the East Africa. And also we're going to look at how these all stakeholders in Ethiopia will come up, with national consensus or, form some sort of government transition in Ethiopia. And we have to look at that part too. And other thing we have to look at is going to be a fear is already mounting in Ethiopia, in particular in Tigray, because of what's happening, and we'll look at that part too. And other is going to be Tigray's political and social decisions all the way to self-determination. But mainly my point is going to be focusing on TPLF's contribution in the last 29 years and what's happening right now. Is it really, what we deserve? Everybody's going, the whole world is against us right now. So we'll have to talk about that too. And then other 2 points next to that is going to be what's happening in Ethiopia, in particular in Tigray. We have to let the world, what's exactly happening. The whole political plots, everything that includes, the Westerners and Middle Eastern countries, their position, political position, and their political stance as well. We will have to talk about that. And other things gonna be, what is really the political and social motive, or political and economical motive of both Eritrean government, in coalition, we call it Shabiya, led by Isaias Afwerki, and also the Amhara nation the Amhara nation. We have to look at that position too. What's their motive? What's their political motive? We have to talk about that. Last but not least, in Ethiopia, there should be a clear political stance to avoid, this badass, individual called Abiy Ahmed, who has been lying for years and years. He came through lies, and what he's doing is based on lies, and then he's still deceitfully, trying to convince the world that he's the right person in the right spot. But then I don't really think so, and we have to talk about that shit too. So to start with, the for example, contribution of TPLF and what we are doing, basically right now. So I want to tell you something. In the long distance history, the number one best enemy of Ethiopia is President Isaias Afwerki. He's been fighting for the last 60 years and more, ever since he dropped off university, because he failed, in scoring good grades. He started his freedom fighting and stuff like that. But long story short, he's been fighting against Ethiopia, for the last 55 and more years. Okay. Meanwhile, when we look at TPLF's achievement, and their freedom fight long-term objectives are already achieved. In the last 29 years in particular in Ethiopia, they've been doing their best. Like everybody knows, Ethiopia was like empty, when Derg regime was overthrown, and he left the country with around only $60 million in a bank, cash hard. So as a country, there's nothing you can do with $60 million. However, the late Prime Minister Meles Zenawi brought Ethiopia, to this kind of position where the world was calling it the most fastest growing country in Africa, as well as in the whole world. The GDP was like growing 20%, 11% and more, 11% and more annually. So this is to mean something compared to what's happening exactly right now, which is below zero, probably negative, GDP growth annually. So Ethiopians, when they originally, look at them the way they were 29 or 30, nearly 30 years ago, when TPLF led EPRDF, they used to call it, EPRDF, took position over the previous throne Derg region. Everybody was going bare feet. Everybody had none to eat, daily consumption, things like that, They didn't have anything at all. Majority of Ethiopians, probably the whole population of Ethiopia, was under poverty line. So TPLF or EPRDF, according to everybody's understanding, they used to call it TPLF's government. Okay, so be it. So let's go with that. TPLF planned strategic developmental plans. It could be long term or short term, but they were all achieved. And then this was the result of TPLF's effort that he made in the last 29 years. This could be expressed in terms of more than 20 million population reached like middle class or probably the higher class, billionaire, millionaire status. Financially, the government was doing everything in its part when TPLF was in power. But then the thing was, in Ethiopia, long distance hatred was going on. Just to let you know that it wasn't about efficiency, political efficiency, or it wasn't about what you're doing. They can, judge you based on what you do. It was all about hatred, racism. As long as majority of the TPLF members were Tigrayans, you know what I'm saying? So they were not accepted kind of thing, regardless of what they are doing in the country. Whether they are changing the social life of Ethiopia, whether they are bringing, prosperity, development, and technology, job opportunity, whatever you call it, it was all disregarded as long as the effort was made by Tigrayans. This is so sick, this is jealousy. Jealousy is, sickness. This is why the entire population of Ethiopians were like basing their attitude based on race. So whatever you do, whatever you try to make a change, whatever you contribute to them is nothing, just because you're Tigrayan. And then the whole development or prosperity or any poverty eradication activity you contributing, to the Ethiopia or to the country or to individuals level. Sometimes there are extension programs in the rural area, also the urban area. There are different programs. There were different programs, and then everybody was taking advantage of those programs. But then they don't really care, as long as those changes are made by Tigrayans. So they started dumping them, just like trash. And then this is the whole outcome that we have seen right now is what's going on in Ethiopia. So nothing can be done, and I can be sorry for that. They should be sorry for that. And they can bring some kind of way, different lifestyle in Ethiopia without Tigray or Tigrayans, so be it. The result is what you see is what you get. It's a war. It turned out to be war, civil war going on in Ethiopia. So this is the kind of idea I can give you, like introduction to what is the motive of TPLF and what was his activity, his progress in Ethiopia. I think this kind of good enough idea, to give you or to suggest on what's happened, on what's happening, in Ethiopia at large. And then the other thing is, what's the motive of Eritrea government and Amhara region? The entire population, I can't blame them, but I can blame the entire population. However, I can definitely say that the elite, the Amhara political elite, is sick in the head. I don't know the way they look at Ethiopia. They just look at it like a small part, a single house of Amhara, Amhara population. Ethiopia is consisted of 85 multi-nation nationalities and different language, cultures, value, tradition, on and on. So how are you going to consider Ethiopia as a single entity of Amhara people. And this is really the main root cause of Ethiopian different political differences, as well as skirmish, day-to-day skirmishes and conflict is, this starts going back 130 years ago and more, since the reign of Emperor Menelik. Just because he wants to disintegrate the Tigrayans' power balance, he sold Eritrea to Italians. During the Adwa war, he was not even taking part. He was hiding, behind the hills of Adwa, behind the mountains of Adwa, because his objective was, having taken all these thousands of soldiers to guard him, in making sure he signs the Article 18, the Treaty of Wuchale, that really disintegrate the brotherly people of Tigrinya speakers in today's Tigray and Eritrea. However, the General Alula Banega, our hero, had his own plan against the Italians, so he defeated them, long story short. But Menelik was hiding his ass behind the mountains, and he was so impressed on what happened. And he took action, a lot of actions afterwards. After the end of the war, he took a lot of actions against Tigrayans. He really burned houses, killed so many Tigrayans, raped our mothers, things like that, which is sickness, still that was just against Tigrayans' race. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is that this has a long distance history. The hatred didn't just show up right now. It had its own roots, from long distance history. So whatever you're trying to make a change, it doesn't really matter, because you are Tigrayans anyways. So this is really the problem with the Amhara population. They consider the entire East Africa is like Amhara. They don't know the diversity. They don't know how to live together based on mutual benefits, economical integration, and other aspects as well. They don't really care. All they care about is being on the top of everybody's head, just to be a ruler, to be a leader of the East Africa. And same is true when it comes to Isaias Afwerki, the president of the so-called Eritrea that broke out 30 years ago, and it's a problem-steering country right now. Eritrea is basically a problem-steering country. The whole thing, what's happening right now, is because of the president of Eritrea. This guy, basically, he's evil. He's not even good enough to his own people. Look at the Eritreans. For the last 25 years, they've been migrating outside of their country. Nearly 1.5 to 2 million Eritreans migrated, their own country. This shows you that there's no good governance. There's no any security. There's no any progress going on in Eritrea, except sending them to the military camps to train them against Ethiopia, in particular TPLF, against Tigrayans. And Tigrayans are always showing their political stance that they want to work with everybody. That includes the very so-called brotherly people of Eritrea, because we have similar culture, similar diversity, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So taking all these things into account, Tigrayans are always positive thinkers. They want to make a change by working together. based on a win-win game. It's not like a lose-lose, or somebody's taking advantage of you and then you're just leaving, staying behind. This means that Shabia, or the Eritrean government, led by Isaias Afwerki, President Isaias, that's what he has been doing for the last 2 decades, probably 3 decades, more or less. We used to contribute, a lot to Eritrea, especially when you talk about human sacrifice during the freedom fight against Derg region. Tigray contributed its children, numbered around 20,000 and more, But who has taken this into consideration when it comes to Eritrean high-ranking officials, especially President Isaias? Nope, nothing. Nothing is taken into account, because his motive is just to be the hero and king of East Africa. That's the Eritrean hegemony, political hegemony. And it's not going to happen. First of all, Eritrea is a very small region. It used to be a small region of Ethiopia. So compared to Ethiopia or other East Africa country like Kenya or Sudan, Ethiopia at large, it's nothing. It's a little spot. But they want to be a huge thing in East Africa. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to happen. They need to, put their hands down. You know what I'm saying? Nothing can be done. It's not because what you want. It's because what it is. So everybody has to look at it that way, especially Eritreans. A lot of Eritreans are now changing their mind, of course. I'm very grateful for that. Probably they learned their lessons from their experience, the way they came through for the last 25 years and more. What you see is what you get, and what you get is what you see. It's visible, so nobody can tell you what to say or what to do. Life or time is by itself a teacher. So time has taught them, moving forward, what they can do. I think that's a good thing for Eritreans. But few of the population, especially if we talk about this tribal called Hamasin, which is dominant in the today's Eritrean government system, majority of the members of Higdef or Eritrean government are from Hamasin, that are really taking a brutal action against the stakeholders, very huge stakeholders such as Akologizai, Sarai, in particular Akologizai, and the rest of 8 tribal nationality. So this Hamassian region has a long distance hatred against Tigrayans, just like typically, I can give you an example. During the Adwa War, they took part siding for the Italian conquerors, about 7,000 and more. So this Hamassian area is basically known for being invader, siding for enemies. Like if you look at Libya, Libya was placed under colony because more than 45,000 Hamassian tribal fighters joined the Italian conquerors and fought against Libya, and it resulted in colony. Libya got under colony of Italians. Who helped the Italians conquer the Libya? That's the Hamassian people. And same is true when we talk about Adwa War. The Hamassian people sent 7,000 and more soldiers by joining the Italian conquerors and then fought against Tigray. This is I guess the beginning of the conflict between Tigray and Eritrean, in particular Hamassian tribes. So until now, whatever we try to help Eritrea, get its independence during the Dark Region or Emperor Haile Selassie freedom fight, they don't really care. Of course, they have used our blood human sacrifice in getting them independent, letting them become independent. That could have a huge political and military strategy, in the history of Eritrea. However, the way they look at it is not this way. They just thought that they played a deceitful game, dirty game against Tigrayans by using the bloodshed of Tigrayans. They got themselves independent from Ethiopia, and this is the very evident, good enough evidence that the following day, of their independence, they declared war against Ethiopia, in particular Tigray, because we are border with them. So they invaded Badme and Zalambesa, a lot of the Tigray region, Ethiopian region called Tigray. That has a lot of cross-border, towns with Eritrea. So this shows you that they don't really care about our contribution to them. You know what I mean? So this is a huge lesson for Tigrayans moving forward. The way we have to look at Eritrea, and in particular this tribe called Hamassian, Shabia. But long story short, right now, their objective is to disintegrate Ethiopia, so that they can continue as a country in the East Africa. They believe that a strong country, around them, especially Ethiopia, becoming a very strong country, is a huge existential threat for Eritrea. This is one of their typical mistake or attitude, mentality against Ethiopia. They have a fear that if Ethiopia is getting strong enough, one day they feel like it's gonna conquer them. It's gonna take them back, so they will lose their independence. For this reason, they have to maintain disintegration, political disintegration in Ethiopia. That's exactly what's happening right now. You get it? So at the end of the day, they have step-by-step, action to be taken. For example, now they are fighting against Tigrayans, against Tigray state, and then later on, they will continue their fight against the federal government. That's exactly what they are having in mind. You can take it from me. I already know them. I know them. I know their step-by-step, actions they're having in their mind. They're keeping in their mind. But that's what it is. As Tigrayans, we have to plan what to do, right after we win this war, full-scale war that's happening in Tigray right now. Unfortunately, Tigray is fighting not only the federal government of Ethiopia, but also we are fighting nearly 4 and more countries. For example, you can take Eritrea, regardless of its denial, taking part, in this civil war in Ethiopia. They are always liars, denial. Always they deny shit like this. They never accept. During the Somalian Al-Shabaab war, they denied it, but Al-Shabaab was financed and armed by Shabia. Eritrean government, and also they trained and financed and armed a lot of Ethiopian opposition parties in Asmara, you know, like the Oromian Movement, Liberation Front, ONEG, or the Amharas, Gumbat Sabat, or whatever they call it. It was trained, financed, armed in Eritrea. And also, you can mention some other stuff too. But right now, the Emirate, the United Arab Emirates, are also taking part, you know, in helping Abiy Ahmed, the evil Abiy Ahmed right now. They're helping him by sending drones, unmanned plane drones. Those plane drones are really attacking by sensing the Tigrayans' military equipment, and also they are attacking some other facilities, infrastructure in Tigray. And Eritrea is shelling a lot of cities in Tigray, such as Humara, Shire, Adigrat, or Mekele. You know, that includes other unmentioned small towns such as around Adwa or Aksum, things like that. They even destroyed the Aksum airport. So their objective is to bring Tigray back to 1960s status, economic status. This is to mean that they want us to be poor. They want us to live our life, our day-to-day life, being poor. This is crystal clear objective of the Eritrean government and their followers, compatriots, Eritrean compatriots. Therefore, this is a huge thing to Tigrayans. It's very dangerous. We cannot look at them without doing anything, you know, without doing just nothing. We have to react probably ahead of time before the entire destruction they are planning against us. Of course, they are shelling our cities, our infrastructures, our people, and making Tigrayans migrate from their beloved land, Tigray. So this is not something we have to ignore or discount. We have to take it to the highest level to reverse this situation to our interest, national interest, to Tigrayans' favor. You get it? If not, it's a huge distraction. And then there should be not de-escalation, but there should be first appropriate action, you know, that has to be taken against the Eritrean government. Of course, thanks to our Tigrayans government is doing the same thing what they are doing, but not actually the same thing. They are shelling the cities and then the society of Tigray. However, our government position is against only their military targets, so that's the difference. Other than that, we're not sitting down with our hands and legs crossed. You know, we're also doing our own things. You know what I'm saying? So nobody has to be desperate on that part. We're moving forward too. They are feeling the heat, but they can't say anything because they are evils. They think that they are not responding in kind. Therefore, the government, the whole world will compliment them for not responding. But on the ground, look at them. They're sending more than 100,000 Eritrean soldiers alongside the Abiy Ahmed and Emirate, Somalia, and other complicit countries fighting against Tigrayans. This is the truth against, this the truth on the ground that they are doing against Tigrayans. This is something you don't need evidence. You can just go see the Tigrayan media streams. A lot of surrounded soldiers from Eritrea are also complaining, being forced, to fight their own brothers, Tigrayans. That's unfortunate. And they don't even know what they were heading. They were just loaded, on the truck and then dumped against Tigrayans to fight. And they realized that there was a war broken out between Tigray and Eritrea that's assisted by the federal government of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed. Of course, he's not a government. He's like any guerrilla fighter right now because he's destroyed. And they lost hundreds of thousands soldiers of Ethiopians and Eritreans, unfortunately. Sad to say, they are buried on our ground, on our land, in the very fertile land of Tigray. They are getting buried day to day. The corpses are everywhere around the Tigrayans mountains or hills. That's very unfortunate because Tigray is very strategic geopolitical state. Look at Afghanistan. The superpowers such as United States or other regional powers like Germany, British Army, German Army, U.S. Army, France, is also there, and other NATO allies, all together are fighting Taliban terrorists in Afghanistan. But Afghanistan, unfortunately, has the demography of Tigray. It's like full of mountains and hills. Therefore, it's kind of hard to search and kill enemy, in Afghanistan. That's why U.S. took it about 20 years and more to completely destroy Taliban. Of course, they weakened it, but then they couldn't completely get rid of them. Because this is like a strategic country to fight back against your opponent. And same is true with Tigray. Tigray, you can't fight in the city because that's going to cause civilian casualty and damage and other unwanted, destruction in Tigray cities, even though they are shelling our city on purpose. But Tigrayans defense military, are already basing themselves on the mountains. So they are going head to head with both Eritrean and Ethiopian soldiers, and they are burying them in Tigray. Tigray is defeating. The upper hand is already on our side. And now they gave up. They finished their soldiers. They lost every credibility. They lost everything. That's why now they are taking it out, on Mekele, Wukro, or other, Tigrayan infrastructure by shelling and bombarding, our infrastructure and our people. This is what everybody has to know. This is what's exactly happening. Ain't lying for you guys, ain't lying to you guys because there's nothing I can get from lying. It's just the reality. That's the truth. That's what's happening exactly in Tigray. So even though we are winning the full-scale war declared by both Eritrea and Ethiopia, Tigray, sometimes I wonder how blessed nation we are. Even the landscape of Tigray is a fighter. It's not only us. Also our land fights our enemy. That's very blessing. God is on our side. And we are winning, and we're going to end this full-scale war, civil war, by winning this war, we're going to get our victory pretty soon. All right, so other things I'd like to mention is the international community. The international community, of course, they have their own policy and strategy. So they have their own objectives, policy and strategy, and which means they have to pick whichever is a good listener to them. This is to mean that, for example, take this as a economic policy and strategy differences. Abiy Ahmed is a slave of Westerns and other Middle Eastern countries. Therefore, he's a good listener to them, not to the people of Ethiopia. So they gave him like a plan to set up a liberalism policy and strategy, which is privatization. This is to mean that the government has to get away from all the economic activities, which means the government can't participate in the economic aspect, such as Ethiopian airliner or electrification, both generation and production, sectors, and also telecommunication, and the shipment, or light rail transportation, be it anything, in Ethiopia that has been done, by the government, is not allowed when it comes to liberalism policy. It's all has to be, everything has to be, just privatized. And meanwhile, if you look at the mixed economy, which was conducted, practiced actually, by TPLF, or APRDF, whatever you call it. It just involves both sides, both the private sector and the government sector must work together mutually. For example, if the private sector is unable, to serve the society because of capital, for example, electrification, if you look at it, it needs hydroelectric power, things like that, which is to generate the electrification, the electricity power, and also distribution and things like that. You know what I mean? So from the generation to distribution, it could be capital intensive for the private sector. Therefore, the government was also considering this position, and then he was doing it himself. And then at a time, the private sector can get also involved, like for example, in the small scale capital, like distribution. Distribution could be more cheaper than the power generation. I'm just giving you an example. So in this case, you understand that both the private and the government sectors used to work together. But in the liberalism policy and strategy, the government has to step away from business. Government has to only take care of law enforcement, defense, and just some public services such as mail or whatever. That's pretty much it. Other than that, government has to stay away from business. And this never was accepted by even the late Prime Minister Meles Zenawi, and also by TPLF at large, or APRDF at large. This is the root cause or difference between the Westerners and TPLF. So for this reason, they don't want to support TPLF. They want to avoid him, or else even destroy him. This is why the whole world gave its back against Tigray state. That's very unfortunate, because I'm also Tigrayan, and this is affecting the day-to-day life of all Tigrayans. Whether we are abroad or home, it doesn't matter. It's our people, it's our state. It's very unfortunate, but nothing can be done. That's what's happening. And then most of all, you cannot count on the world. You can only expect some, like a humanitarian crisis is happening, and then also there's a globalization cut, things like that. You cannot just live being isolated from the world. However, it doesn't mean also the world can satisfy your interests, your national interests. Therefore, you have to move some things on your own, like freedom, for example. Nobody's going to give you freedom. Freedom is not like, simple thing. It's not piece of cake that you can get it or being given by anybody. You know what I'm saying? So there's no easy way out, to get your freedom. It's only if you fight your enemies, internal and external enemies, and achieve your objectives and win the war or the fight, against your enemy, so you can secure your national interests, you can secure your victory, and you kind of go from there. So this is what it is in short. By the way, those of you who would like to give an opinion, you're more than welcome to take part, and I really encourage you to do so. The reason I'm doing it in English is that anyone can have a general outlook based on what I say, in Ethiopia or in Tigray in particular. So it looks like this is good enough for now. I'm kind of, through. I'm through. So anybody would like to take part, I give you the opportunity, to participate. So you can hit me up. So you can say whatever you want to say. If not, I'm gonna invite you a final song, and just to conclude our program. Okay. Okay. So let me see. So everybody has to look at things, this way. You have to also let the world what's really happening, in our country. Otherwise, the world may not have good enough understanding, so they can help us. Our people are migrating towards Sudan, and they are still blocked, not to look for a safe haven area like Sudan. Because the federal government is hindering the whole process, So that's kind of against our people too. That's racism. I'm telling you, everything is based on race. They are arresting, killing Tigrayans just because we are Tigrayans. You know what I mean? This can't go on no more. We have to fight it back. We have to let the world what's really happening. If not, these people, they won't hesitate to take every Tigrayan away. They will try to commit genocide. They are, of course, committing genocide. This is actually genocide. Look at our brothers and sisters in Libya, in Yemen, and in particular, Yemen and Saudi Arabia. They are jailed in prison. They are supposed to be economic migrants. However, they are imprisoned, tortured, what they call it, torture, and a lot of killings, communicable diseases. Everything is happening over there. They are dying day to day. There are interrogation just because you are Tigrayan. They interrogate you, torture you, kill you, starve you to death. And then if you're sick, there's no medical, attention. Nobody can treat you. Nobody can give you get enough food, water, clean shelter, and things like that. They just dumped us like animal. And this is a complicit of Eritrean government working with the Saudi and Yemeni in order to purposely kill Tigrayans. So we have to let the world, everybody has to step up a little bit and let the world what's really happening. Otherwise, how would you expect the world will know what's really happening to us? You know what I mean? So look at it that way. You have to look at, that way. Don't be just saying nothing and doing nothing, just watching the whole scenario, just as is.
GoPuff is your go-to solution for immediate, everyday needs. For midnight diaper disasters, for low-grade Saturday night fevers, for the red wine you love, the Tide stick when it spills, and the remedy if you had too much. You can always count on us to save the day. GoPuff.
Yeah. So I'm about to finish, my program. But before that, I'd like to say something, which is based on what's happening to Tigray. We Tigrayans cannot let our enemy, our arch goddamn enemies, keep shelling our cities. Like what they did yesterday is very unacceptable. I hear that they bombarded, around Mesfin industrial engineering areas. Also, they took out the Dimtz Wayane, whatever, WD, radio station, the headquarters, and also they took out the bank. It's called Okwara and David. So in other areas too, like the industrial park and things like that, they are targeting. And previously, they already destroyed the sugar factory, and they're still trying to keep shelling our city, our infrastructure, and our civilization. They try to bring us to our knees, and we cannot let this happen again. We have to, respond in kind. I hear that very grateful news that our government, Tigrayan government, let the world diplomats that we're gonna take action in kind in Addis Ababa and its area, and that we are doing also in Asmara and its surrounding, and very strategic military targets around Ethiopia. And this is very encouraging motive of our government, Tigrayan government. You know what I mean? We cannot just keep, looking ourselves being destroyed. We can't keep a blind eye on our enemies shelling and destruction and bombardment on our infrastructure and our people. You know what I'm saying? So we can't let our people and our infrastructure and our city being shelled, by enemies. We have all the required high-tech weaponry systems. We'll fire them against our enemy. They are all locked and loaded. So they are just ready to fly, ready to go, like a hot cake, and burn the shit out of our enemy. That's what we have to do. Moving forward, that's what we have to do. That's the only way we can stop the enemy attacking us. Otherwise, if we just keep our mouth shut and keep a blind eye on them, guess what? They will keep destroying our cities, especially Mekelle. I never accept the idea that worst case scenario, they can take over Mekelle. No, they will never ever take over Mekelle at all. It's not a goddamn acceptable idea. Mekelle has the powerhouse, political powerhouse, as well as the economic powerhouse of Tigray. We cannot let this happen in Mekelle, in particular, Wukro or Adigrat. So in particular, Mekelle. So we can't let them keep shelling, we can't let them shell our cities and destroy our cities and our civilization and our people. We have to double our action, and then we have to show them our strengths by using the locked and loaded high-tech weaponry system of Tigray. We have to destroy them in no time before they cause a huge human casualty, and then all this shelling going on against our infrastructures. No, it's not acceptable. We have to hit Addis Ababa. We gotta hit back, more around its surrounding infrastructure, or also military infrastructures. And if necessary, we can block Afar region that gives them access towards the Djibouti port, so they can import and export and things like that. We can even declare no-fly zone in Ethiopia. Yeah, we can simply take down any flying object in Ethiopia. We have to take similar actions in kind. That brings the whole party, into negotiation around the table. Otherwise, this is not acceptable at all. And we can't just keep a blind eye, while they are shelling our cities, our infrastructures. That's all I can say. I hope you take my, idea favorably, and that's the way it should be. So that's all I can say at this point, and I wish all the best to our government and our respected government and people of Tigray. We're gonna win. We are already bringing the war to the end by destroying our enemy Eritrean government and also the Ethiopian so-called Fed government, federal government. And don't worry, my brothers and sisters and my people Tigray, you don't have to have some kind of concern on what's happening. The victory is on our side. We're defeating the enemy. We're beating the shit out of them. We're killing them. We're burying them on our land. They're burying them. We're burying them, killing them, destroying them. So you don't have to freak out. Just because you're not there doesn't mean, success is, happening. We are successfully destroying them. So you don't have to worry that much. And those respected brothers and sisters that are actually taking the enemy out, we have to give them respect. We have to encourage them, with whatever we can. It could be financially, it could be moral-wise, it could be, possibly even physically. We can fight for our people and our country, Tigray. Therefore, you don't have to have that much, concern, because we are defeating the enemy. So, those of you who would like to make a phone call and say something, you're more than welcome. If not, I'm done, and I'm about to conclude this program. So, whoever would like to call, the final call, just go to my messenger and hit me up. If not, I'm done. So we have to let the world know what's happening in Tigray and then what's happening in Ethiopia, you know what I mean? So that we can get some kind of way, diplomatic assistance. And we have to let the world that we did not start the war. The war was declared, or it was broke out originally because it was declared by the federal government with the assistance of the evil Eritrean government, and also other complicit countries from Emirates. Hello? Hello? I think you can call again. I didn't get it. Yeah. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hi, Asmi. How you doing? Welcome.
What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm all right. I'm happy that you joined me. What do you think of what I've been saying so far?
Um, I heard certain things. I didn't hear everything, but I think I got the basic things that you're saying in terms of the attacks against Tigray, not TPLF, but Hizb Tigray.
Yeah.
So we have to ask ourselves, why are they attacking us? If it's about a TPLF, a political group, why are they killing innocent civilians? Why are they destroying our infrastructures? What is the meaning? And this, we know who our enemies are. So you have big powers, outside forces such as the Arabs, even the U.S. is in it. That feel like, okay, if we can destroy the best fighters that holds its sovereignty not only for Tigray but for the whole Ethiopia, then we can basically do whatever we want to the whole Ethiopia. It's a piece of cake. Beat these group, even exterminate them, um, and they can do whatever they want. You can see it because we have our brothers that's overseas in Saudi Arabia, and you can clearly see that they're in it. Why are they putting them in jail in the name of COVID-19 for no reason? They didn't commit any crimes. Why are Tigrayans being committed? Why are they being targeted right now? So those are the outside forces. So they have their own mission. Then you have our own citizen, mostly Amhara or Hizbi Amhara. Now they don't understand. They just running around followers. I call them followers. Like a donkey followers. Now their only ultimate is they have this hate against Tigray. That feels like, okay, if we can get rid of these people, then we can easily control the whole Ethiopia. Then we can go back to the 1980s, during Menelik days, and we can, rule everyone in the name of Ethiopianism. So that's their goal. They don't really understand the actual politic that's being done behind. They don't understand that the fact if you get rid of Tigray, then they're going to get eaten up as well because they don't have the power to do anything. Right now, we're fighting eight powers. From a small province, Menashe Jigna, Menashe Tigray, Sarawi Tigray, Jigna, 800. So you got the Ethiopian Defense Forces, Special Forces, Eritrean Defense Force. You have the Somali, the South Sudan. Then you also have Israel as well that's helping them, not militarily, but intelligence-wise. Intelligence-wise, they are helping them in the back end behind, and UAE as well. So this is, a sad moment because that area is a strategic area, and everyone wants that particular area. Meaning, Tigray, the whole Eritrea, and you see what they did to Yemen. It's just so sad, to see our own, our own people, the Ethiopians,
Right.
that's against us. Well, mostly Hizb Hada. I think the other Biher, they don't really have the power to say anything. They don't have the same, with David's Tigray
So,
to fight or anything like that.
Asmi, let me ask you a question. What do you think we gotta do in order to independently safeguard our people and Tigray from these evil enemies internally and externally? At the end of the day, we go ahead like doing this and that, but then
Yeah,
we end up being attacked by them, and we end up
yeah,
fighting back. This is happening for almost more than 2 centuries, going back 150,
exactly,
130 years ago since the downfall of Emperor Johannes. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
this shit can't go on no more. Our people is
No,
tired and sick of this goddamn brutality coming from especially the nation called Amhara, the elite of Amhara.
yeah,
They are every time,
Yeah.
day in, day out against the race of Tigray. They don't want to see
Yeah.
it. That's why they're getting
They
rid of.
celebrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think we have to do once and for all as a
Well,
resolution? Consistent resolution.
this is what yeah, sorry, but this is what I say. We have to take a full scale fight with them. So we have to destroy them. Right now, they're not there to pick up TPLF. They're there to exterminate. Here's the guy. We can see him the way they're killing us. So, Hawad have to take a real serious action. Okay, he has to take real serious action. He has to target certain areas. Not only Gondar and Bahadra, but he has to take action even on Bisava, that's it. And you have to destroy these people, destroy them. You have to destroy them. Man, check on Twana. No, so on this, we don't want to hear none of that. So they're here to, they're killing us. We're not just going to wait until they just, kill us. You don't want to give them enough time, to collect their power. No, it's not only about the book. We want to take the soccer ball into their area. So that we have to clear this mentality, I'm hot mentality. I'm this and I'm that. You have to kill that totally. That's the enemy. We see it. They're celebrating against our death and misery. They are celebrating. We clearly see it. So they're in it. Yes, there might be some nice people there. Nice farmers, but the percentage is slim because we see them the way they celebrate, and we see them the fact they're not saying
the majority,
that this is wrong.
Yeah, the majority of them are sick in the head.
Exactly. They're celebrating. They're happy what's going on. They're just using, we're there to pick up, TPLF group. But, they're probably only like 10 of them. They're using it as a cover up, but really they see what's going on. They see our citizens being killed. They see our institution, our infrastructure is being killed. They're sanctioning us from other things, such as humanitarian things to get in. So this is bad. So they're there. They're actually happy to, just exterminate us. So that's the mentality, and we have to take a full scale. We don't need to hold back. We have to respond. We have to respond like immediately. And this, we don't need that kind of enemy in our neighbor, that kind of mentality to where you're happy if you just kill Tigray for no reason. They came to us. We don't go to them. They came in. This is invasion. You coming to my land and invading me. You coming to my land and they're killing innocent children. Innocent moms.
What about the Eritrean government led by President Isaias? He kept shelling our cities, our infrastructures, and killing brutally our people, especially young children aged 12 years old and more.
Yeah.
They think that they're going to be placed in military training and go against them, and they've been getting killed. So what do you think of the action, the brutal action is taken by President Isaias of the government of Eritrea?
Yeah, that's another area that needs to be destroyed, and we have to finish it.
Yeah, of course, they have they declared war openly against Tigray and its nation. So what do you think we have to respond in kind? I mean, how do we gonna?
I think we all responded in kind. Understand they're not hitting certain civilians. Most of Eritreans, there's some of them, the good one, they're supporting us. But that area, that man, he has to go. He has to be destroyed. He has to be destroyed. So we have to take our full scale, and the people that actually love Hizbut Tigray, that want to connect with Hizbut Tigray, that want to do business with Hizbut Tigray, you have to put in change the government. You have to destroy that kind of mentality. They have the same mentality as the Amhara mentality. That particular area.
So
now the one that the neighborly brothers, I think they're understanding. So yeah, we have to take the same mission full scale, and we have to we have to destroy that guy.
So basically,
that guy's cancer.
You're saying that we gotta keep targeting and destroying and striking missiles against the military infrastructures.
Definitely the infrastructures, wherever his planes are, wherever his satellites, all the artilleries. We have to. You have a lot of young, I'm gonna say even in Tigray that want to get, that's going against him, that want to see a change, that feel like, he's been doing wrong. He's been killing them for the past 30 years. We have to help them. We have to equip them with the right weapons. They have to go in. We can stay behind and support them. We change it. Now, if the people want to say, let's come together as, one nation, that's fine. Later on, but he has to be destroyed. So we have to keep doing that. Our scale, it has to be full scale. We have to target Eritrea, which is the, Shabia, our enemy. And also, Hawaii need to take they need to respond. They respond. And now they hit Makala. That's too close. They already destroyed most of our, capitals.
Yeah.
They already destroyed most of our capital.
Yeah, and then,
now,
additionally, I'd like to ask you if you can encourage me get some kind of plan against the regime of Eritrea. For example, we can't just defend our territorial integrity, having all this city being shelled by Shabia or Eritrean government is supported. So why don't we kind of bring the voluntarist Eritreans and shape them into military power and send them fight for their freedom against the regime? And we can cause regime change in Eritrea. We can't just keep blind eye and then just take it easy just like that.
Yeah.
We have to.
Well, I think, yeah.
Eritreans go against. We gotta make them against. We gotta make them go against their own regime, because this regime is the root cause for them. In migrating outside of their country for economic purpose. Because there's no peace and security, and there's no fairness, political justifiable system. So what do you suggest for Eritreans? To kind of.
I mean, I think that
cause regime change.
Yeah, our government. I think that our government understand. You have a lot of Eritreans that understand, especially Call of Duty, they with us. We see them we see them in the media. We see them support. Nobody's supporting them. No behead. No one is supporting Tigray. So you have those people. They have the same heart mentality as Tagaro. They just they didn't have the support or the power to change. But now I think our government needs to take he is taking full scale. I think it's happening in the ground. It is happening in the ground. But that guy has to be. We have to hang that guy. That Banda Arab Askar called Isaias, that's not only destroyed his own country, but that's destroying just the horn. He's changing the horn. He's changing the horn because he's Banda. He's Arab Askar for Arabs, and that's what they want to do. That's a strategic area, strategic region, and they want to change it to the way how they want it.
Yeah.
So they have to get rid of the strongest people, which is the Tigrinya speaking people. We never back down from no enemies. We don't accept bottlenecks. We don't accept, dictatorship. You can't do that to Tigray. No, there's no way we've been fighting. So that's why it's happening the way it's happening. And I believe that's why they're not supporting us. But if we can take a full scale war, we can demolish them. Then they're going to come back, start running to us. They're going to be our ally. But no more this whole on that, behead.
Yeah,
No, don't do this, don't do that. No, I don't believe none of that. You just have to be you have to just we're in a war. It's either I'm alive or
it's
I'm
kind
not.
of defeating or losing it. So you gotta defeat or you're gonna lose it. So it's a matter of life.
Exactly.
They wouldn't hesitate.
Those people don't understand. We're fighting for our survival and existence because that's what they're fighting us. It's an ethnic extermination is what's going on with us. It's not even like a regular war. So this makes it so different.
The dictator Eritrean government wouldn't hesitate to wipe out Tigray and then bring it to its knees by disintegrating half of the Tigrayan land merging it with Amhara region and then taking it halfway to Eritrean region. Therefore, this is the existential threat that is exposed, in our country, Tigray. Therefore, we have to fight to death, what I'm saying, to safeguard our people and our territorial integrity. So meanwhile,
and that's the mission.
Meanwhile, let me ask you a final question, probably. Where do you think is the real territorial integrity of Tigray, especially just for the sake of the federalism? It was given to Amhara region, such as
Exactly.
Aloha Milash or Lima Limo, Kobo, whatever. So if we are fighting, they're trying to take over our land. Therefore, why don't we go fight them, beat the shit out of them, and then take over our land? That includes Aloha Milash and Lima Limo. What do you think of this? What can be done?
I think that has to be done. There's no point paying pain and dying for no reason just to say, well, got the invaders out of Tigray. No, we need to restore our territorial land from Tigray that was given away in the name of federalism. In the name like let's all work together as one Ethiopian. That's our land. That needs to be returned. That has to be returned. Even we need our gateway to our sea as well. Yes, it is in the area around the Kolokazai, but Tagadas pay big prices for it. They pay their life to protect it. If worst case scenario, we need a 50-50 ownership. Have to have work together. So that has to be done. That has to. We're not going to accept just how the Tigray map is right now. No, especially they came to us to invade us. We have to destroy. We're going to destroy them, or we're going to return our land. We're going to return our land. Period. We're not just going to die.
No negotiation, no political negotiation should take part. Should happen around the table with Abiy Ahmed and any other negotiator for that matter. As long as we're not gaining, or taking back our territorial integrity, safeguarding our territorial integrity all the way to Raya, Walkait, and other stuff. But if possible, not limited to that, but also if possible, we can expand, all the way to Aloha Milash and Lima Limo.
Yeah, Matama Yohannes as well. Aloha Milash. Lima Limo is a Italian name that they gave it when they took over. Aloha Milash, even all the way till Matama Yohannes, that needs to be returned. We have to do it. This is the time to do it. They came to us. I don't feel that Ethiopia is going to continue as one country.
Afar region too. Our land is given to Afar region all the way to Dalul, Arho, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Call it. So
yeah,
we gotta.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The old map, the way our territorial land, the way it was before, Huaha came in the game and created a federalism. They were there to to make everyone happy. Blah 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 blah. So there's certain land that was given away. That's a Tigray land. Since for thousands of years, that's a Tigray integrity land that was given away to Ago, to Afar. So that has to be returned. We have to go all the way. So we got to destroy the enemy. Our for his Tigray. We're not going to be defeated by no radio operator, Banda, whatever his name is, Meshrefet or Abby. It's not going to happen. This is over our dead body. Okay, it's not going to happen.
It's not. We're gonna hang.
We're losing a lot. We understand we're losing a lot. That's why they're killing civilians, because the young generation, that's up there, and we should give them kudos, hands up to them. I mean, they're almost Wayana, but to the 10th power. I mean, what's in the ground is different. Mm-hmm. The way they're destroying them, just one province. When they say there is like, man, I'm so proud of them, man. They're the one that's protecting our land. No one else. It's not anyone else. It's them protecting us. So, they're not going to win at all. Yes, they're destroying our infrastructure. That's all they can do. Destroy infrastructure. And whoever that guy, Muhammad, Abiy or Mashaf or whatever, he's lying to them. He's lying to the public. If it's true, go in the front of my other. Put your flag in. Okay, go ahead. Where is it? Where's the evidence?
Gotcha.
There is no evidence.
Yeah, that's true. That's why
there's no evidence. That's what a real winners does. After victory, you get your little donkeys behind. They're his soldiers. He puts the flag in, the flag, whatever their flag is. Okay, and so we covered it. Now, what is true? Yes, he is sending airplanes and bombing certain civilian and infrastructures. But what's in the ground? I mean, we erased or destroyed most of Ethiopian military, shot down military forces, and that's what the truth is in the ground.
Yep.
That's what the truth is.
There's no mercy when it comes to both Amhara elites and the Eritrean government. No mercy. We got to take action in kind.
We got to take action, and we're not going to listen to Hawad, they have their own thing. No, everybody's the
Not
same.
only that,
So all in that, we don't want that no more.
Even the international community, we can't be afraid of the international communities, and that cannot refrain us from taking action in kind, or probably double. We gotta double our action.
I mean,
to silence the enemy. You know what I'm saying? So this is something serious.
I don't think they're. I don't believe that they fearing the international communities. I mean, yes, I think what they were feeling, they don't want to take that kind of power because they were giving them time, maybe to come into negotiation. Maybe to save the country, right? If they take that full scale, they know it will dismantle the whole country. And if the international community, they know what's going on. They know what's happening to us, to Grimes. They know what's going on. They keep in silent in hopes that he wins, because if he wins, those bandas already gave him or sold him certain resources. You understand? They probably gave him institutional resource of Ethiopian institutional resources. That's why he's getting support. Isaias, another banda, probably already gave the Arabs Eritrean resources such as you can use it. The Red Sea. He probably gave away the Red Sea and land.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to support nobody without any kind of interest or gains. Why would they support him? So that's the truth.
Based on give and take, so we can
exactly. But Tigray has no support because we're fighting for our minute, we're fighting for our land, we're fighting for our resource. We're not going to bend down for no power, anyone, and that's why they're not supporting us. But if we destroy these enemies, they'll be back to running back to us, trying to be allied with us.
Yep, exactly. My point. And Asme, you can conclude your opinion, and you can say something. To wipe out the discussion. We can conclude it. Say something. Probably I'll give you a few minutes or whatever seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say, Tagaros, let's not listen, to the other media, because that's a propaganda to demoralize us. On the ground, we're winning. Out for Hizb Tigray. Say Tigray is doing what it needs to do. And yes, morally, because we see our people are being displaced, certain institutions are being hurt. As a human, we're sad. But this is not going to surrender us. Hizb Tigray will never surrender. And we're going to destroy the enemies. We're going to destroy those people that's going against us with outside forces. Well, we'll see. We'll see. we're gonna make them pay. They're gonna cry towards the end. They'll cry at the end. They will cry. They made a big mistake
Yeah,
because
they're losers.
I don't think that.
They're losing it, and
Yeah.
they're losers anyway. So they're already getting
Um,
buried. They're buried. You know, their corpus is everywhere around the mountains and hills. Nobody is even
oh
able
yeah.
to bury them. You know what I'm saying? So
They
they're
don't
like,
care. They don't care. They have a mission like we're 30 million. They're 6 million. No, we're not 6 million. Tigray is at least 10 to 12 million. But they have a mission to where like they don't care. Even if they lose 10 million, as long as you exterminate his, that's what makes it so sad. So those people, that region, that mentality has to be completely destroyed. Destroyed. You understand? Destroyed. And once we destroy them, we're going to assist and help other little behaviors that's being, that's been getting oppressed or bullied by these bandas, chacana. You
yeah,
understand
yeah,
that?
brutal. Yeah, they're very
So
brutal.
that's the goal.
Yeah,
Thank you for giving me the time. I appreciate it. I was for Hizb Tigray,
yeah,
my people.
yeah. All
We
right.
will survive. We
I,
will continue.
I appreciate your time, Asme, my dear brother, for joining me and then really contribute this kind of constructive idea for the sake of our people and our country. And please come again. I appreciate for your time. Thank you.
No problem. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Okay, so that's what it is. From now on, we have to be determined, in taking action against our enemies in kind, and also we got to make sure take back all the piece of lands of Tigray territorial integrity, and that's when probably the war or the civil war can stop. I'm just giving you a heads up. If not, it cannot be stopped, because of the so-called negotiation or whatever you call it. It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work like that. You know what I'm saying? We make sure first, either they have to withdraw from our territorial integrity 100%. If not, we gotta make them, go or get out of our territorial integrity by force, and that's where the civil war is gonna end up. If not, the war is still ongoing, and then we have to stand by our people, our government, all together. And I hope everything's gonna be all right, because we're beating the enemy, making him feel the heat, and they are coming to the conclusion that they cannot win the war. But then, before taking over our territorial integrity and stuff like that, and that's not good enough, we have to also take a double action against the enemy in kind, probably striking missiles all the way to headquarters of Ethiopia, the capital of Ethiopia, based on what's happening. We gotta respond in kind, and victory is on our side. I love Tigray and my people. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. I'll be coming back in similar, agendas. Appreciate for your time. Thank you.